Hello, and welcome back. This is Huskies, playing more NHL 18 ZM mode. I really enjoyed doing the two teams at once kind of dynamic I have going on the channel. I just got done with Columbus, and I wanted to go back out west for another team. Now I'm currently doing the New York Rangers, which is a multi-year rebuild, and to kind of not see a playoff run for a few seasons, but I want to contrast that with a team that is a win-now, cup-hungry team from the start. And it's a team that was voted on before and kind of didn't get a whole lot of traction, but I want to go out west. I want to be a team that wants to win now. And the team that we're going to pick is the Los Angeles Kings. Los Angeles Kings are a team that's got a lot of high-quality players. They've got a recent run of success, and they make the most sense for me to hop in and take them over. I'm not going to touch any of the divisions. We're going to leave those all the same. We're starting in the preseason, and I have the most recent roster update as of April 10th. So all the trades that went down at the deadline are done, and this also adds all of the college, Russia, junior players that made their NHL debuts. So I've got a guy. You've got guys like Nashville has Tolvanen from the KHL. The Hawks have Dylan Sakura from the NCAA, and there's a couple other guys that they added. If you want to see the roster, the April 10th roster update I have, there's a link in the description for it. It highlights everybody that was added and all the ratings that were decreased. And as is with my Ranger series, I'm going to turn off owner mode and I'm going to turn off player morale because I just don't feel like it adds anything except negativity to it. I mean, owner mode is just dumb. I mean, it's a neat concept, but it's not something that I'm interested in. But let's go ahead and hit continue. Let me see if I can change the injury stats or the injuries here real quick. I don't think I can. I think I have to do that. Oh no, I can't play sliders. Here we go. Let me turn down injury occurrence to 7, I believe. 7. And this first video, as always with my GM modes, is just a... we're just going to do a quick overview of the team. Yes, fully healed, auto-rotate goalies, yep. Card jerseys on, scouting assignment, alright, yep, we're good. That's what I wanted, and we will start our career with the Los Angeles Kings. We'll see what we have in terms of salary cap, players, prospects, all that fun stuff. Like I said, episode 1 is just a quick rundown of the team, and it'll be interesting to see because in the roster update, I know that I have a couple of guys. I have Daniel Brickley. He's a defenseman. He made his debut late in the season, and I think was on the playoff roster for the Kings. So I've got him. He's a 78 overall defenseman. He's a pretty good young defenseman, so I'm glad that I've got him added. Some other guys that were added, like I said, Jordan Greenway, Troy Terry, Casey Middlestat, Ryan Donato, Henrik Borgstrom. Like, these are guys that made late season debuts and might have helped their team in the playoffs. So I wanted to have them in here. Considering my New York Rangers run is way outdated, I wanted to make sure this is updated. And this also has a lot of skater ratings increased. Most notably, Doughty and Kopitar are 2 of them. Doughty's a 92 now and Kopitar's a 90. I think that's all the Kings I have. Yeah, and I don't think I have any. Oh, Alec Martinez got a decrease, and so did Dion the Fagoof. Sorry, if you're a Johnny Superb fan, you know that reference. And one other thing of note is that because this is an end of the year thing, a lot of Vegas players got a boost in ratings. So Vegas might not be hot garbage like they are in the game. They might kind of I don't think they'll be like a division leading team, but they won't be as bad as they are in the game. I mean, William Karlsson still is a 40 goal scorer. They only made him an 85, so I mean, take what you will. But let's look at the Kings first and foremost. Looking at the roster, this is a team set to win now. Cup run. We want a cup, at least 1 cup in the first 3 years. I would love 2, because that's when most of our big contracts come off. Kopitar, he just got re-upped at $10 million for a long time, which is gonna suck, especially when I have to sign Doughty. But we've got 2 years of prime cup contention, and we've got some cap space to work with, and we have some guys we can move. Dion has got to go, 100%. but we'll get to that. Let's just look over our team real quick. This is our main roster. We got Drew Doughty, one of the best one of the top, probably I'd say one of the top 3 defensemen in the league. In terms of just all-around defense, making $7 million for 2 years. That's an awesome contract if I can keep him around that. I don't think I'll be able to, though. Anssi Kopitar, one of the best, if not the best, two-way defensemen or two-way centers in the game. He's up there just because of his offensive contributions and his ability to play defense. I'd love his faceoffs to be a little higher, but I won't complain. We have a second-line center in Jeff Carter that's just perfect. This team does kind of struggle down the wings. And you'll see what I mean when I go to left wings. We have Tanner Pearson, Austin Kempe, and Tobias Reeder. 82, 81, 79. So not the best. Right wings, Tyler Toffoli, Dustin Brown, Trevor Lewis, Kyle Clifford. These are guys that are just, they're not cutting it when compared to our center depth. Our center depth being Kopitar and Carter. I mean, then you get Afalo, Engehoff, Thompson. So we do kind of fall off. We have, but where we do make up for that lack of offensive power is defensively. Drew Doughty, 92, Jake Muzzin, 85, Alec Martinez, 83, Forbert, 81, Phaneuf, 81, Gravel, 79. So we could do without probably Martinez and Phaneuf. Those are probably the 2 defensemen I would look to move because Muzzin's got a great contract. He's 28, whereas Martinez is 83. He's 30 years old and he makes $4 million, so he can probably go. Phaneuf's 32. He makes $7 million. I don't want that cap hit because that cap hit could easily go to 2 forwards of like 83 or 84 overall. And then again, we've got Jonathan Quickback here, 88 overall, one of the best goalies in the league. He is on the older side, so we're going to need to get a cup in these first few years before he starts to decline. But he's only making $5.8 million for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, so that's awesome. So if we can just get rid of the 2 guys that I want to get rid of, I'll sort by age, are 2 of the older guys on the team. I want to get rid of Dion Phaneuf, and I want to get rid of Dustin Brown. Now I say that because Dion Phaneuf, he's 81 overall, he makes $7 million. I don't think he needs to be here, especially not that cap hit. It's absurd. And Dustin Brown, he does not bring anything in terms of video game. He's a grinder. Their role in real life hockey does not translate to video game hockey in any way possible. He's much better off if he's a 2-way forward, but because he's a grinder, he just doesn't put points on the board. All he does is take penalty minutes, so he doesn't really have a spot on this team. He'll be on the trade block as well as Dion Phaneuf. So those will be 2 guys I'm going to try to move, and that frees up 13 million cap space, depending on who I bring back. But the issue with that is neither of these guys have high trade value, so I can't get a lot back for them. And if I'm trying to win now, I don't want to sacrifice too much of my youth because I don't have a lot of youth to go on of. So we'll look at in the system now. Fottenberg, Mersch, Mitchell. Mitchell's 32. That's Torrey Mitchell, right? Yeah. Jordan Subban. He's already 22. He doesn't get much better. Brickley, this is the guy that just got added, right? Yeah, I'm surprised he's a 78. He's a 78 on their list, but he's a 69 here. Maybe that's just for online plays, a 68 or 78. He's 22 though. Like, we don't have a lot of young kids. We got Clegg, not awful, top 6 defenseman. He might be turned into something suitable. We do have Gabriel Velarde. He was their draft pick, so he might turn into something good for us. So that's something to keep an eye on. He's only 18, so we've got some years for Velarde to possibly get good. A couple other guys. Muvar, I don't know how to say his name. Jacob Muvari. He's Swedish, so it's probably Muvari. I don't know. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm obviously saying it wrong, let me know. Anderson Dolan, Phillips. So we've got a couple of guys. These are probably all draft picks from this year. Velarde being the big one. Do we have any goaltender prospects? I mean, we have Jack Campbell. But aside from that, no. So we're going to have to find a goalie as well. Vitala, this guy's not awful. I've had him in other runs. He's a good, he's a half-decent goalie. He can get pretty good. I don't think he'd ever be a starter, but he could be a backup for us. So, as you can see, we don't have a whole lot of young talent here, and I probably don't have, if I go to trade players, which we'll go next, is I don't have a lot of trade prospects to kind of work with. Because if I go to this, I mean, obviously these guys are all up here. And the guys that I'd want to trade are Alec Martinez, and then Phaneuf, and then Dustin Brown all the way at the bottom. So it's going to be real tough to make these moves to bring in some playoff talent without having to give up. Like, I don't want to give up Velarde. I'd be willing to move Anderson Dolan. He's only a top 9 forward, so I don't think he's going to turn into much. And he's a 2-way forward. Those usually don't prosper really well. I'd be willing to move him, and probably one of these defensemen. I'd probably move the 19 or the. I'd probably move Phillips just because he's not signed yet. But again, my draft picks are probably going to be my best bets. I mean, those are really the only things that I have going for me in terms of value. So it's going to be a little tough to figure out how I want to work this team if I want to get to a playoff. I mean, we're a playoff contender, and we should be. I mean, we've got good talent. Kopitar can carry this team. But I mean, look at this. Like, we have 6 guys over 80 overall, and then we fall off pretty hard. I mean, our 4th line is Nate Thompson, Andy Andrehoff, and Kyle Clifford. Whereas you contrast that with my Columbus team, we have 380 overalls down there. So this team needs a, excuse me. It needs a little bit of a tweak, if you will. Adrian Kempe can get pretty decent. Tyler Toffoli, he's got some room to grow. Same for Tanner Pearson. So I'm surprised Toffoli's only an 83. I mean, he's got decent stats. Tanner Pearson, I think Tanner Pearson's about where he should be. It's just interesting to see, like, do I sacrifice? I can't even sacrifice defense. I have Follin and Ledoux. Follin and Ledoux scratched. Is Jack Campbell my backup? Yep. Not a great backup, I'll be honest. So looking at this team, I need to improve. I need at least one first-line winger. Somehow. I might have to wait till free agency. So year 1 might not be a cup run. Year 1 might be clear up cap space to go hard in free agency. And then year 2 and 3 be our big cup run years. Because if I trade Dustin Brown and Deanne Phaneuf for just garbage, that frees up about $12.5 million in cap space, depending on what I can bring back. So let's see. Oh, excuse me, shit. Let's see what we've got in terms of who are interested in Dustin Brown and Deanne Phaneuf. Alright, so let's see. Oops, I didn't hit D button. Deanne Phaneuf. I could have just sorted it by age, but whatever. Dustin Brown. Alright, so Anaheim's interested in both. Boston, Chicago, Columbus. I mean, I'm obviously not going to trade them both, but not a lot of teams have interest in Dion. At least not a lot of teams that have cap space. But can I trade him back to Toronto? Ooh, that'd be tempting. Winnipeg? I think Anaheim makes the most sense, if I'm honest, just because I can get like a third for him. They have more than 45 skaters. Really? You don't want to trade me anybody? Alright, well let's back out on Anaheim. I don't really want to make a trade. I kind of just want to set up a trade and have the comments be there to kind of let me know. Ooh, the Hawks want him, and the Hawks kind of have the cap space for him. Man, they don't want to trade anybody though. It would still be over the cap even. Alright, so I mean I could take a little bit of a cap hit back. But the only issue with Chicago is they don't have a whole lot of low-end cap hits. I mean, Connor Murphy got a 5-year deal though. Lance Boma, $1 million. Anthony Duclair, he's actually got some decent trade value, so I wouldn't be able to get him. Cody Franzen, I can't even get him. So there's just, it's gonna be hard to try to figure out a place for Phaneuf. I mean, I could probably find a place for Brown considerably easier. Like, I could probably trade Brown to the Hawks for like a third and some garb. Well, see, the issue is because his trade value is so low, is that I probably can't even get him for like this, a 3rd round pick in Ruda. That's not even enough because Ruda doesn't make enough. God damn it. I'd have to take Cody Franzen back probably from them. Dylan Sakura. Wow, they did not give him any potential. That's a shame. Guy was a Hopi Baker finalist and he gets no love. Cody Franzen still over to Cap. No, I don't want to do that. Alright, so what we might end up doing with Phaneuf and Brown is just throwing them on the trade block and seeing what offers come through. Because I really feel like I'm not going to be able to move either of them to get a reasonable offer back. Just because of their cap hits and their complete lack of value, I highly doubt we'll get anything for either of those two. My surplus, I have to change this to, I can't do that. Alright, so let's do 30 to 37. We'll do 31. And then Dustin Brown, I believe, is 32, right? Yeah. Go forward any, and we'll do 30. We'll do 31 because I think Carter's 30. Oh no, he's 32 as well. So I might get offers for Carter. Could I do? I think he's a 3rd. Nah, we'll just do any. Wants pretty much, yeah, anything. Oops. No, I don't want first line forward. There's no way anybody's gonna offer me a first line forward for these two bums. There we go. And then goaltender. I mean, I'm really not too high up on a goalie, but I'm gonna leave that as backup because we do kind of need a backup goalie for now. Current picks. I'll take it. I don't really want to put first rounds up there because no one's gonna offer me a first round pick for these two guys. There we go. So that is our trade block. We have it set up. Our surplus, our two guys sitting here. We have our wants. And that's where I'm going to call this episode 1. As always, if this is a series you are hyped about, feel free to share it around. The best way to know about when the episodes go live is to subscribe to the channel. I don't ask for subscriptions or likes on videos, aside from the first episode in the series. And even then, I feel like it's silly. I don't ask for likes at all because it's just dumb. I've been a member of the YouTube community for so long that it's just annoying to hear people ask for smash that like button for 2,000 likes. No, fuck, that's just dumb. If you like the video, you watch it. I don't really care. But subscribing is the best way to get notified when a video goes live, and that little bell is there to let you know because the subscription box is broken and always has been. But yeah, like I said, this is a new start. We're gonna see where we can get with the Kings. They're in an interesting spot. They're not exactly high-end cup contender like the Penguins, the Capitals, the Sharks, the Jets, the Predators, but they're not on the bottom half of that either, where the Rangers and the Hawks are. So it's a good middle ground. I think year 1 is a solid kind of retooling, refresher period. If we make the playoffs, cool. If we don't, not a big deal. And then years 2 and 3 is when we go hard for the cup. And then after that, we get to our re-signing our big guys, and we'll go from there. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you feel like you want to follow me on my journey, and I will hopefully see you back for episode 2. And as always, comment section for what you want to see. I'm very interactive with the comments. I take all of your opinions into consideration since there usually aren't many comments. And I usually discuss them in the next video. So yeah, feel free to use the comment section, and I will see you in episode 2.